Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to your English lesson. Now, last week and yesterday, you have spent a lot of time writing your own legends, which have been absolutely brilliant for myself, Miss Lee, Mrs. Hawes, and Mr. Needs to have a look over. And now we have come to the end of writing those. When we were in school, normally what we would do is we would have at least one, sometimes two lessons on editing. We are going to do a lesson on editing today, and we're going to have a look at it from a slightly different perspective. But what you'll need to do is you'll need to go back and access your previous parts of the story so that you can, I would just copy and paste them onto today's document so that you've got your whole story in one place so that it's published. And instead of just editing, because normally we would work with lots of different partners to try to use their skills as well, we're going to actually see if we can highlight some of the good features that we've got in our work and use that to see which ones we need to add in. So let me share my screen and let's have a look at what our starter activity is. So can you add a relative clause to this sentence? So Robin Hood, comma, who, and then you need to give a bit of information about Robin Hood there. Something was the toast of the town. So have a go at adding a relative clause to that sentence. There is the scaffold for it on Teams as always. And let's have a look at a couple of examples that I came up with. So Robin Hood, comma, who had made the sheriff look like a fool, comma, was the toast of the town. Or Robin Hood, comma, who wore a red feather jauntily in his hat, comma, was the toast of the town. So both of those add a bit of extra information about Robin Hood to the sentence, and depending on what information you're adding can change the theme of the sentence or the tone of the sentence. So let's have a look at our toolkit for our legend tales. So we needed to introduce a setting from the past. We needed to use fronted adverbials of time. We needed to use relative clauses to give more information. We needed to describe a human hero. We needed to use a wide range of sentence lengths. We needed to accurately use speech marks. We needed to use show, don't tell when we're describing settings. We needed to have some sort of ending to it, a moral or some sort of tradition that comes out of the town. And we needed to have that conversational start, that preamble. So when you're looking back through your work, have a think about these things. I will put the toolkit in your resources for today, and you can actually tick them off as you go through them where you have used them. And if there's anything that you don't tick off, then you need to, in your editing, have a go at adding some examples of that in. And what you're going to do after that is we're going to use a bit of a color scheme. I'll show you an example, and I'll save an example into the resources as well. But these are the main things that you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for examples of show, don't tell. You're going to be looking for examples of exciting vocabulary, examples of fronted adverbials, examples of speech, relative clauses, expanded noun phrases, adverbs, and a range of punctuation instead of just using one different type of punctuation. So here is an example of what that might look like from our model text. So I've got the fronted adverbial is highlighted. In Germany, it's a relative clause where the relative pronoun is assumed. So if you had been in the little town of Hamlin, comma, which is in Germany. So it still is a relative clause, even though it doesn't have which. Got some exciting vocabulary with plague. And then we've got dashes, we've got commas. Now I can see from that bit that there isn't any speech in it. And if in my whole bit of text I didn't have the color for speech, that might be something that I need to add in. I can see that there's not really any show, don't tell in there. So that would be something else that I would try to add in. This is a chance for you to go through and for you to edit your own work and to really highlight what the good things are about it. When you're doing your editing, please use a green font color to show where you've changed and where you've made changes. Remember, there are two types of editing as well. You need to edit to improve, where you might be editing something that doesn't have any mistakes in it, and you need to edit to correct mistakes as well. Now, with the editing checklist, if you would prefer to choose different colors for each one, that's absolutely fine. You can change the colors that are on there. Have a look at the resources that are there, have a play around with it, and go through and edit your entire legend story from this week.